In the waning months of 1780, the American Revolution teetered on the brink of collapse. Continental soldiers endured a brutal winter at Morristown, New Jersey, their pay months in arrears and supplies dwindling to nothing. Desertions plagued the ranks, and whispers of surrender echoed through the camps. Yet, from this nadir, 1781 would emerge as the year that forged a nation, a cascade of battles, betrayals, and bold alliances that tilted the scales toward independence. As snow blanketed the ground on January 1st, 1,500 soldiers of the 6th Pennsylvania Regiment rose in mutiny, marching toward Princeton with fixed bayonets and cries for back pay. This Pennsylvania Line mutiny exposed the fragility of the Patriot cause, forcing Congress to negotiate concessions and highlighting the human cost of the fight for freedom. Just days later, on January 5th, the traitor Benedict Arnold struck again, leading a British naval expedition that torched Richmond, Virginia, sending plumes of smoke skyward as a grim reminder of Britain's scorched earth tactics, but fortune shifted swiftly. On January 17th, in the piney woods of South Carolina near Cowpens, Brigadier General Daniel Morgan orchestrated a masterful double envelopment. His ragtag force of riflemen and militia feigned retreat before turning on the pursuing British under the ruthless Banastre Tarleton, slaughtering over 800 redcoats while losing scarcely a dozen men. This stunning victory shattered British momentum in the south, proving that clever tactics could outmatch superior numbers and igniting hope across the colonies. February brought ripples from afar. British forces seized the Dutch island of St. Eustatius, a vital smuggling hub that had funneled French arms and gunpowder to American privateers. The loss stung, tightening the noose on colonial trade routes, but it also signaled Britain's overextension, drawing resources from the American theater as the Fourth Anglo-Dutch War erupted in Europe. This global conflict, pitting Britain against a coalition including France, Spain, and the Netherlands, diverted Royal Navy ships and bought precious time for the Patriots. By March 1st, amid the chaos of war, a quieter revolution unfolded in Philadelphia. Maryland, the last holdout, ratified the Articles of Confederation, birthing America's first national government. This loose union of sovereign states granted Congress powers to wage war and manage foreign affairs, though it lacked the teeth to tax or enforce laws. From the American vantage, it was a beacon of unity, a fragile scaffold upon which independence could stand even as it sowed seeds for future fractures. The Southern campaign raged on. On March 15th at Guilford Courthouse, North Carolina, Lord Charles Cornwallis clashed with Nathanael Greene's outnumbered Continentals in a Pyrrhic triumph. The British claimed victory, but at the cost of over 500 casualties, nearly a quarter of their force, while Greene's men slipped away intact. This bloodletting forced Cornwallis to limp toward Virginia, ceding the Carolinas to guerrilla harassment, and underscoring the war's grinding attrition. Spring deepened the drama. On April 29th, French forces captured Tobago from the British, a colonial skirmish that eased pressure on American waters by splitting enemy fleets. Closer to home, Jack Jouett's midnight ride on June 3rd saved Virginia's governor, Thomas Jefferson, from a British raid, his horse's hooves thundering a tale of daring that echoed Paul Revere's legend. Yet peril loomed. On May 26th, the Bank of North America opened in Philadelphia, the first federally chartered institution, injecting desperately needed loans into the war chest and stabilizing the depreciated continental dollar. As summer sweltered, British raids intensified. Arnold again ravaged New London, Connecticut on September 6th, igniting the Battle of Groton Heights, where Benedict Arnold's ferocity met fierce colonial resistance, though the town burned and heroes like Colonel Ledyard fell. 2 days later, on September 8th, Greene's army clashed with Cornwallis at Eutaw Springs, South Carolina, in the war's bloodiest southern battle. Smoke-choked fields saw bayonets clash and cannons roar, with patriots nearly routing the British before a desperate countercharge. Though technically a draw, the carnage, over 1,000 casualties, compelled Cornwallis to abandon the South entirely handing Greene a strategic triumph. Now the world converged on Virginia. French Admiral de Grasse's fleet, 24 ships strong, arrived in the Chesapeake Bay in late August, bottling up British reinforcements and transforming a coastal peninsula into a trap. George Washington, sensing destiny, marched south from New York with Rochambeau's French regulars, a multinational force of over 16,000 that symbolized the Revolution's global stakes. On September 28th, they encircled Cornwallis's 8,000 troops at Yorktown, a tobacco port fortified with redoubts and artillery. For 3 weeks, the siege unfolded like a thunderous symphony. French engineers breached outer lines under moonlight, while American riflemen picked off sentries from tree lines. Bombardments shook the earth, 200 cannon roaring in unison, shattering British morale as shot and shell rained down. Cornwallis, trapped without escape, sued for terms on October 17th. 2 days later, on October 19th, under a clear autumn sky, redcoats marched out between Franco-American lines, stacking arms in humiliating defeat as fifers played "The World Turned Upside Down." Yorktown's fall reverberated beyond the colonies. In London, Prime Minister Lord North lamented it as a death knell, paving the way for peace talks that would culminate in the 1783 Treaty of Paris. From the American perspective, 1781 was vindication. A year when mutinies forged resolve, battles bled the enemy dry, and alliances with France, forged in the fires of Saratoga, delivered the coup de grâce. It marked not just military victory, but the dawn of nationhood under the Articles, a government born of necessity that would endure until a stronger constitution in 1789. Yet echoes of 1781 lingered in the wider world. William Herschel's March discovery of Uranus expanded human horizons, a cosmic parallel to America's earthly rebirth. Mozart's operas premiered amid European courts, their themes of tyranny and redemption mirroring the patriot struggle. And as Dutch and Spanish fleets harried British commerce, the Revolution proved no isolated revolt, but a spark in a global conflagration against empire. In the end, 1781 taught that independence is not granted, but seized through the grit of farmers at Coupins, the ink of statesmen in Philadelphia, and the thunder of cannons at Yorktown. It was the year America glimpsed its future, a republic flawed yet fierce, rising from a revolution's forge.